Encounter in the Bahraich communal riot case. Sarfaraz Talim shot in the legs by UP cops in an encounter. Cops claim accused trying to flee to Nepal.
मर्डर वेपन की रिकवरी के लिए गई तो वहां पे इन्होंने मर्डर वेपन को लोडेड हालत में रखा हुआ था, जिसको लेकर पुलिस पर फायर किया गया। पुलिस ने अपनी आत्मरक्षा में जवाबी फायरिंग की, जिसमें इन दोनों को गोली लगी है। ये घायल हुए हैं, इनको उपचार के लिए पहुंचा दिया गया है।
Family claim they feared encounter.
रविवार को जो वहाँ दंगा हुआ है, इसमें जिस आदमी की मृत्यु हुई है, उसका इल्जाम मेरे पिता और मेरे भाइयों पे आया।
Sister had written a letter to CM and the Prime Minister conveying these very fears. Big political blowout post-encounter.
जो लोग एक शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से एक कस्बे, गांव का या आसपास के लोगों का कार्यक्रम शांतिपूर्ण से संपन्न नहीं करा पा रहे हैं, उनसे लॉ ऑर्डर की क्या उम्मीद करेंगे आप?
What happened in Bahraich? Communal violence broke out in Bahraich, Uttar Pradesh on October 13th during a Durga idol immersion procession. This after 22-year-old Ram Gopal Mishra, who was seen replacing one religious flag for the other, was shot dead by the alleged accused. Two of the accused today were shot in the leg in an encounter by UP cops. Charges of encounter Raj echo again in Uttar Pradesh. Top focus on India Today. And spearheading those charges of encounter Raj in Uttar Pradesh is the Samajwadi Party. Let's cut across to our political guest this evening. Joining me, Charu Pragya, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party, Ghanshyam Tiwari, Spokesperson, Samajwadi Party, and Vikram Singh, Security Expert and former DGP. Ghanshyam Tiwari, why do you make an assumption that the two individuals or the two accused who were shot in the leg by the Uttar Pradesh cops, that this was a staged encounter? Many of your leaders have gone on record to suggest the same. Do you not reckon it's a tad dangerous, Mr. Tiwari?
Good evening, Preeti, to you, my fellow co-panelists and the viewers. Three things stand out. One is the overarching backdrop of this, that BJP is extremely scared and unpopular. Their hate politics has failed them since 2024, and as a result, they are continuously hunting for a new script, a script that is dangerous for communal harmony in the society, but can be beneficial for BJP. This is part one. And that scare is visible in the fact that they cannot even hold elections in Milkipur. Second, if the police, who's mainly responsible for looking the other way as the riot unfolded, if the police is so incompetent that they will go with two people, with several policemen, to a location where the guns have to be recovered, and those two people who were not hardened criminals, they were people who were involved in riots but not known as hardened criminals, will pick up those same guns and fire at the police, and the police has to retaliate. There couldn't be a more foolish script that a movie can create, but Uttar Pradesh can create that, and that is what makes the administration a textbook example of shamelessness, that you don't care whether people trust the basic sanity of your story or not, you will still go ahead and present your story. The third and final point, since the day this riot unfolded, the reasons behind it, the way it unfolded, BJP spokespersons, in spite of the fact that Bahraich police has openly said, caution people not to spread rumors about the nature of the death of Ram Gopal Mishra, BJP spokespersons across board and their speakers have gone and said, used phrases such as ISI style murder and so on to further create rift in society. The agenda is clear, whether it is the encounter and the fake nature of it, whether it is the riot itself and the failure of BJP, the agenda is clear that somehow they want to recover their hate machine that allows them to win Uttar Pradesh.
Charu Pragya, do you want to come in on this? Because once again, grave charges at the doorstep of the Uttar Pradesh police and the government saying that this was a staged encounter. This time the two got away with shots in their legs, but luckier than what has happened before.
Preeti, good evening to you and good evening to Ghanshyam and all our viewers. One, the main accused is Abdul Hamid. He's been arrested. 5 other accused have been arrested. Only the 2 who tried to flee were shot at, and the police had to do that in self-defense, which is entirely legal. Our CRPC says so. If you had anything to do with understanding the way police functions, you would not be levying allegations like this without any proof, Ghanshyam, and I say this with a lot of responsibility. Another thing is it's far more difficult to aim and shoot at somebody's leg. So please understand that the police was not trying to get into a situation of an encounter to eliminate anyone. If they were trying to flee, they were shot at on their legs, and that is that. But the point here is a political party which has tried to communalize a situation which should have been a law and order problem in the first place. If there is going to be stone pelting on a Durga procession, if there is going to be one man who's shot at with 20 bullets, that's not a small number. He has 35 wounds on his body. His nails have been gouged out. Electric shocks have been given to him. Did you hear any statement coming from any of these leaders about this? Ajay Rai, Congress leader who contests elections from Varanasi, had nothing to say about Gopal, absolutely nothing. But he had a lot to say about the so-called encounter that the opposition is very irresponsibly trying to project as something staged. Now, this situation where a Durga procession cannot go on with safety and security, that is the thing that we should be talking about. A young man, for raising a flag, is shot at 20 times. He loses his life. That is what we need to be discussing. We don't need to be discussing police acting in self-defense. We don't need to be discussing something which is done entirely lawfully in response to a crime that was carried out, a horrific, violent crime that was carried out.
Ghanshyam Tiwari, I know you want to respond. I want to bring in Vikram Singh into this conversation.
One quick point.
Okay, make your points up quickly. I'd like to bring in Vikram Singh then.
I want to reiterate, because this is in the interest of harmony, that the appeal by Bahraich police, and it is sorry to see Charu Pragya, a noted lawyer, repeat the propaganda when the police is saying, and I'll verbatim read it, social media में सांप्रदायिक सौहार्द को बिगाड़ने के उद्देश्य से भ्रामक सूचना जैसे मृतक को करंट लगना, तलवार से मारना एवं नाखून उखाड़ना आदि बातें फैलाई जा रही हैं, जिसमें कोई सच्चाई नहीं है. पोस्टमार्टम में मृत्यु का कारण गोली लगने से हुआ है. When a national spokesperson who's a learned lawyer comes on television and speaks propaganda, which is quashed by the police itself. No one has said 20 rounds of fire on the victim. No one has said that somebody's nails were taken off. But this is what BJP is doing. They want to hunt for their hate machine that was lost and destroyed in 2024 election.
All right, Charu Pragya, you're today being accused of peddling a fake narrative, especially which is going on in social media, which has been refuted by the Uttar Pradesh police.
I know sir has to speak, but very quickly it's important I respond to this. So you are not concerned about a man losing his life to bullet wounds fired illegally. You are not concerned about that at all. You have not made a single statement in support of Gopal, and that is the problem. No single statement has been made by your leader Akhilesh Yadav. In fact, he is targeting the Durga Puja procession. That is called communalism, and that is what you should refrain from doing. Please.
Okay, but Charu Pragya, you would also admit that spreading and peddling a fake narrative is equally dangerous.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I stand by what the police is.
But the police has said he wasn't tortured.
No, he was tortured. There is a report of the autopsy for later, which has been doing the rounds. That is official, and he was tortured. What are you
right
trying
now,
to say?
I would think let's all stick, because there are multiple reports doing the rounds. Let's all stick to the official statement of the Uttar Pradesh police. As per the official statement of the Uttar Pradesh police, the man in question wasn't tortured. That doesn't take away from the fact that he was killed. I want to bring in Vikram Singh, security expert and former DGP, who's also joining us. Vikram Singh, the police can, of course, and should act in self-defense. The police doesn't need to be questioned. But You know, in Uttar Pradesh, this is not the first time that we have seen an encounter take place. This time around, the two accused have been shot in the leg. Not the first time that charges of encounter Raj have echoed through the, the hinterlands where UP comes into question. It does somewhere down the line, Vikram Singh, raise a question on Uttar Pradesh police.
Preeti ji, good evening. It is difficult to find a single case of encounter where questions have not been raised. To your question, and I would say that yes, for one who has been on the wrong side of the gun multiple times and dozens of times, I can say we have been trained only to aim initially at the non-vital parts and therefore the large number of injuries on the legs. It is the Mossad that shoots 5 in the chest and 1 in the head. That is the hallmark. We are not the Mossad. We are the UP police. We are trained for humane treatment of everyone, including those who are trained to kill us. Now, coming to the fact that, yes, the UP police, I would compliment them. Initially, they were faulted and they were caught on the wrong foot and the charge of negligence and dereliction of duty. Now that they have got the accused, I see no reason why this pathetic support for the killers. That makes no sense whatsoever. And everybody is supporting the killers. Not a word of condemnation of what the killers did. I would be very happy if there would have been equitable treatment to the aggressor and the aggrieved. Here, everybody is on the side of the aggressor because it means vote bank advantages. And that is where the problem arises. People from Hyderabad are coming over and speaking in favor of the accused and favor of those who used gunshot injuries. And to your question, there is a half-truth also. There's something known as the SG cartridge in 12-bore gauge, which has multiple rounds. You fire one cartridge and there will be multiple pellet injuries on the person. Therefore, it is half-truth. First, let us get the facts together. But the ground reality is that he was shot at and he died because of gunshot injuries. Whether there was torture or not, well, it is debatable as of now. Ghanshyamji has a very valid point if he's quoting the official UP police spokesperson, and we cannot contradict that. But he was killed, there is no doubt about that. And those who are standing like the Rock of Gibraltar in favor of the assassins, I have a strongest objection to it, because these are the same special interest groups who stood by the Batla House encounter case also and went to Sanjarpur, Azamgarh and shed crocodile tears in their support. And when it came to people of the UP police, these are the people who lost a fake murder case against me, Brijlal, current Raj Sabha member, and 40 brave officers of the STF. Why? Because we dared to look towards the Indian Mujahideen terrorists. That was our crime. But I salute the judiciary because they acquitted us and the CBI said there is no merit in the case. Please, before you raise a finger at the others, let him cast the first stone who has not sinned before.
All right. Ghanshyam Tiwari wants to answer. I'll come to you, Charu Pragya. Let's just go one by one. I would just want to bring in Ghanshyam Tiwari. I'll come right back.
Just two very quick points, with all due respect.
Okay, one second. Ghanshyam Tiwari, let her come in. She wants to get in a point. Go ahead, Charu Pragya.
Very important point. You want to quote the police and you want to stick to official statements. Let me give you an official statement from the Chief Medical Officer of Bahraich. He has clearly said that due to continuous beating, Gopal Mishra has lost a lot of blood, due to which also he could have died. His left eye was injured. He was hit with a sharp object. So please, do not tell me that torture did not happen. Torture happened.
One second. We are just quoting what the UP police has said. Nobody's taking away the fact and should not take away the fact that this man was killed and he was shot at. That 100% you're right, and that's the point that one needs to raise. Till the time there is a confirmation which comes in on torture, it only spreads discontent. We're going to try and steer clear from that until and unless we have an official version. But I completely second you. It doesn't take away from the fact that this man was killed. For what? Removing one religious flag, and those visuals are there on our television screen. Ghanshyam Tiwari, you want to come in? There have been questions that have been raised by Vikram Singh. Please answer.
Well, one very basic question that even a layman like me can ask, that to a decorated former police officer, that when police is taking two people to recover the arms, you will ask the most simple question, that are the arms loaded or not? If as a police you cannot even ask that question to those criminals, then it means that you are either creating the script or you are absolute fool. So I don't see any medals to be offered to police who could not even ask this basic question that, hey, I'm taking you to recover arms that you kept. Are they loaded or not? and then those criminals pick up those arms and they fire, and then suddenly this police that did not have the basic intelligence suddenly turns sharpshooter and fires on the leg. First. Second, we are supposed to believe the version of UP police which has the most torturous record in custodial deaths and torture in any year in the last 8 years. Just this year, the custodial death of a Divyang person, custodial death of of a minor, you name it, and Uttar Pradesh police has done it. And final point is, we are supposed to believe the administration of a state where the chief minister does not believe in deputy chief minister and vice versa. The version that media has reported, and I'll just quickly read, that on the day the massive fires to shops and houses were made, the people were not there in those houses and shops because they knew that the mob is coming after them. If people whose houses and shops are going to be burned down, they knew that mob is coming after them, where was the administration? This is absolutely
as much as you
brazen that an administration can admonish their responsibility and run away.
As much as you can, and you should, as the opposition, blame the administration and the policing and why the riots happened. There is a fact of truth in what Charu Pragya has also raised, and that comes from the fact, Ghanshyam Tiwari, that the Samajwadi Party is completely shying off on what really happened. Somewhere down the line, the party has to come up and take onus in terms of at least criticize that a man, a 22-year-old young man, was shot because he removed one religious flag and replaced it with the other. Nobody said what he did was correct. But to shoot somebody, there is no criticism coming in from your party.
No, it is absolutely wrong. And if I communicate that I don't criticize it, that is wrong. I criticize it, but I'll just read what BBC reported and other media channel reported. घटना वाले दिन वहां मौजूद पुलिस वालों ने बताया कि विवाद तब बढ़ गया जब दूसरा पक्ष डीजे बंद करने के लिए तैयार नहीं हुआ तो मुस्लिम पक्ष की ओर से डीजे के तार निकाल दिए गए. Can you imagine? Hundreds of houses and shops were burned down. A young man died. Why? Because somebody wanted to play DJ. And this police, who's trying to give medals to itself, was sleeping. And today they want extra medals.
Okay, Ghanshyam Tiwari, one thing I think we all need to admit is if we are condemning, we leave the ifs and buts. But let's leave it at that. I'm going to come right back to you. And Charu Pragya, give me 1 minute. I just want to bring in Vikram Singh back into this conversation because there are valid concerns, Vikram Singh, that Ghanshyam Tiwari is also raging, and we'll just put those graphics out. You've been on my own show, Vikram Singh, and you've criticized the Uttar Pradesh police for carrying out rampant on what you thought then were encounters. And, fair amount of criticism on that. Questions raised, some of the cases still going on. The sheer fact that the sister of these two men has already, even before, anticipated that something like this could happen, has written to the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister, suggesting that she fears that her brothers could be killed in an encounter. Do you not reckon that this validates an investigation?
Preeti, let me tell you that we have zero tolerance towards fake encounters. A civilized society and a civilized police force, there can be no scope of fake encounters, number one. But the hardened criminals are known for the standard operating procedures, and this is one. The moment a person is apprehended, the moment there's a chance of being apprehended, they shoot off letters and applications that there's possibility of a fake encounter or trumped up charges of UAPA, NSA, and the Gangsters Act. This is a standard. You arrest any person, and these applications will come from a roadside advocate who will furnish these applications. Now, if anybody is serious about the allegations of a fake encounter, of a fake or a disproportionate use of force, I would strongly suggest that you go in for an affidavit before the court, because everything will be inquired, investigated, and be subjected to a magisterial inquiry.
So what you're saying, Vikram Singh, all those cases right now running chronologically on our channel, you've been there, you yourself have criticized the UP police on them, but understandably, yes, you do have a point, and a very strong one, that one needs to somewhere down the line back our policing as well. And you have to give them the faith and the confidence to go ahead and carry on their job. Charu Pragya, go ahead. You want to make a point?
Absolutely. So I was just going to further to what Sir has been saying. Please understand, and I come from a police family, Preeti. I have been raised in a police household. Understand that there are repercussions to anything like a fake encounter which is going to stay with the person his entire life. And in a world of today, you cannot get away with anything like that. Also remember that the other accused have all been arrested. Those who were shot at the leg. So look at the facts in the face before you start pointing fingers at the very people who are protecting us night and day, working on festivals when all of us are resting and celebrating. That is their job. So please understand, they were shot on their legs. There was no attempt to murder, nothing like that, absolutely nothing like that. And like I said, the 6 other people are behind bars as we speak. So Ghanshyam, this narrative that you're trying to peddle,
please respond.
Police's fault. That's
very simple points.
wrong. And please condemn killers of Bhopal without adding ifs and buts. That man was killed because it's a part of a Durga Puja procession. And you have...
Charu Pragya, that question's been asked. Let him answer, then I need to go into a quick break. Quickly, Ghanshyam Tiwari, 30 seconds, sir.
This is how headline setting happens. Today on the day NDA was meeting, we would not be discussing this story if this encounter did not happen. So who's setting the headline? Who's mastered the script? The viewers know. Point number 2, that was not answered by Honorable Bikram Singh ji. That would the police not ask whether the guns are loaded or not? You are taking 2 people. And third, he said hardened criminals. Look at anybody can look at the video of that meek young woman who's praying to the Prime Minister and Chief Minister. Does she look like a hardened criminal? Let us put our humanity first, whether when we wear our clothes of politics and otherwise.
That's all the time we have for. I appreciate all 3 of you for joining us. Well, for now, both the accused who've been shot in the leg are, with what at least the health update is coming in, are fine, is what we are being told. They're out of danger. Does it raise larger questions where the UP police is concerned? We're going to continue to keep asking those. But does it also raise questions on why do we ultimately point the finger at the Uttar Pradesh police when some that are saying that they're only just doing their job? A quick break. Stay with us on the other side of that cover.